ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to GNA Podcast. We're your hosts, Soberoni and...
Drooby Dooby Doo!
Yes, let us get this party started. I guess right off the bat. Unless you have something else you want to say.
Nothing constructive.
Well, we never say anything constructive.
I was just gonna say something very nasty, and
someone's in a nasty mood today, so
yes.
For somebody who supposedly had a good night's sleep, they're in a nasty mood.
Yes. Oh, you don't know how nasty, baby.
Okay. See what I mean? That's what I mean by nasty mood. Horrible, obnoxious mood. So, Boku no Hero Academia. What was it, episode 9?
Sure,
why not? Boku no Hero Academia pretty much just picks up right where you expect it to with the fight between Uraraka and Bakugo. Surprisingly enough, Uraraka puts up a decent fight. She has a little strategy with distracting him with her charges. Meanwhile, he just kind of pushes her away with explosions. Much to the dismay of everyone in the crowd, because at one point they just start booing him for being so aggressive. And it turns out that her whole strategy the whole time was to get him to use his explosion to tear up the ring so that it can create debris in the sky, and she can just release it with her gravity and like unleash a meteor shower. Unfortunately, Bakugo's too OP and that shit doesn't work, so he wins in a handedly fashion, but she manages to put up a good fight. We get a little emotional scene with her confronting her parents about her struggle. And then we get another scene with Endeavor and Midoriya discussing the upcoming fight between Todoroki and Midoriya. And then that's where it ends off at, in the beginning of the fight between Todoroki and Midoriya.
It was... First of all, I think I know why you're starting to like her now, because I guess she's definitely reminding you of Hinata.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely reminds me of Hinata.
Yeah, it was just like, it was that battle where we all knew Neji was gonna win, but like no one wanted to say it. And she was like, oh, this is such a valiant struggle, but she's definitely just gonna lose.
The difference between this and Naruto, though, is that unlike Naruto, where Hinata had that one moment against Neji and then never had another moment ever again in history.
Oh, what? That's not true. Pain versus Pain.
I'm sorry. I was like, 600 episodes later.
Where it's the same thing, except even worse, because he's like one of the strongest ninjas like ever.
Literally 600 episodes later. Literally hundreds of episodes after her initial fight against Neji, she gets spotlight again. I'm just saying, Uraraka is probably going to be relevant going forward too.
Yeah. I always liked Uraraka. I don't know why I always call her by her full name, but yeah, she's just very relatable in a sea of people with like these super like intense personalities. She's like just super chill and has like an actual like, you know, super realistic goal. Like, you know, it's very like, oh, like I want to help my parents become by supporting them by becoming a hero. Like, and it's also very like selfless of her to do so.
Yeah, plus she's super cute.
Yeah, agreed.
No, but I think she overtook All Might as my favorite character this episode, just because I'm surprised she put up such a good fight, even though she lost. It's just like against Bakugo. I think at one point Bakugo was just like, his hand was twitching after he won, and he was like, oh, she pushed me to the edge or whatever. So I think if she had just a little bit more stamina, she actually could have maybe stood a better chance.
But you know, it's kind of hard getting blown the fuck up everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Sorry,
anyway,
I just want to
point out how good my cup is at camouflaging itself. That's what I want to point out. Totally
this morning, I mean, as you could as you could may or may not tell, we're both in Sony's apartment for this episode. And this morning he was like, "Where's my coffee cup? I can't put my coffee cup. Where is it?" I'm like, "It's on the shelf." Where, like it was last night. He's like, "No, I can't find him. No, well, Shrek Witches." And then, meanwhile, we're doing a podcast, and I'm looking, like, directly at it. I'm like, how could he not
Listen,
find it?
my shelf is, like, jet black, and my Vegeta mug is jet black. So it's, like, perfectly camouflaged into the shelf. So, my bad. Totally unrelated.
Yeah. I knew I couldn't go throughout the entire episode without pointing it out.
Like, as soon as you sat down?
No, like, we were just talking. I went to go for my water. I put down my cup, and I looked down, and I'm like, how? How could you not see it?
Well, now I have a cup to drink from Dark Souls later.
Thank God.
I guess final thoughts on this episode. I like the Endeavor scene with Midoriya and his comeback at Endeavor was pretty nice.
Yeah, he was like, "Not my president."
Hashtag not my hero.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was a good episode. Moving on.
Wait, is this your episode of the week, or are you gonna?
It's my episode of the week.
Because in my mind, there's only one other show that had an amazing episode this week.
Shit, I actually forgot my episode of the week. Didn't I say something else was my episode of the week?
Yeah,
earlier?
I mean it's between this and
I think the other episode. I think that's gonna be my episode of the week. Definitely.
I'm conflicted because this was like a really, really, really.
It was a good episode, but the other one in my mind is just like I remember that. I don't really need to look at my notes to talk about that one, but we'll get to that later. For now, let's move on to Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Episode 8. Oh wait, these are last week's notes.
Last week on Attack on Titan.
Yeah, right. So this week, Eren finally awakes after being kidnapped. There's essentially a Mexican standoff between Reiner and Berthold and Ymir and Eden. I mean, it's not really the greatest standoff because Eden and Ymir are like severely like they're like missing limbs. So so yeah, it's not exactly what I call a standoff, seeing how they could just overtake them at any time they see fit. And literally, like, this whole entire episode was literally just like all them talking in a tree because they're stuck there until nighttime because they're surrounded by Titans who could just easily eat them. They're all out of energy from all them being Titans. So they're just all stuck here in the tree. And, so they're just talking, and then it's just literally, like, the entire episode is like, Eren's like, how could you do this? And Reiner is like, I'm crazy. But yeah, but
he's a shitty spy. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, before we get into that and how wrong Silverny is. So essentially, Reiner, like, you see him kind of talking to himself to the point where it's like he's literally like immersed himself so much into like the role that he's taken on as a spy that there's like a part of him that still like believes that's like what his reality is. Like there's like he has like this small monologue where he's talking like, oh, I wonder if I'll get a promotion, and like, oh, maybe I can act out Krista, because like he's kind of developed a split personality at this point because he just wants so badly just to like just be a part of like the scouts and shit and just live a life, being with these humans that he bonded with over all these years and grown close to. And I don't think he can like, he's not handling the fact that all that shit's over. I don't think he's handling it that well.
No, not well at all.
He's really not handling it that well at all. So this is his coping mechanism, basically like delusions. Like he just deluded himself into like, oh no, everything's fine, I'm gonna go back.
I'm calling it now, he's gonna commit suicide.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like he's just gonna throw himself in a Titan or something.
I would not be surprised. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, you like fighting, it said join the good guys and throws himself into his Titan's mouth and then transforms into a Titan inside the Titan.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Imagine he like fights Berthold as Colossus Titan and he just like kills him. Like, kill each other somehow.
That'd be so sad. In my
That'd
mind,
be
I think of them
great.
as like lovers.
Okay, so you're shipping them.
I mean, they kind of were always together. Like, they ship themselves. Oh yeah, I love at the beginning of the episode, Eden was like, "Oh, I must talk to these people calmly with my emotions, so they don't get all crazy and try to kill me." And then that like goes out the window
Literally,
like halfway.
like, so quickly. Like, fuck you, Ryder! I'll kill you!
He's like, "Oh," he's literally like, "Oh, so you're not like warriors or anything like that. You're just murderers,
psychopaths."
Like, yeah, I'm like, you're okay with. When I told you my mom died, how did you feel? And he was like, "Oh, we felt sorry for you, I guess." And he was like, "Oh, I get it. You're not soldiers. You're just murderers." And
The funny thing is, when Aaron was saying that stuff, I was like, when he was saying how like, "Oh, I'm gonna be less emotional and more logical and try to get out of such," I'm like, "Oh my god, he's actually growing as a character. He's gonna do so many cool things now and like outplay everybody." Nope.
we thought too highly of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Reiner's just like, the fuck were we supposed to do? Da, da, da. We're just following orders, blah 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 blah. So like that shit's happening. And then Reiner tries to, eventually convince Ymir to join them using Krista, which it seems effective. Like she's like, "Oh well." Sorry. Especially when she starts like asking questions about like the giant Titan, and then Aaron's like, "What you talking about?" And then as soon as Reiner mentions that they could protect Krista, she's like, fuck should I know?
I don't get that part at all. Like, yeah, they can protect Krista, but they don't have Krista hostage or anything. And even if they like did, would you trust them?
Yeah,
like,
I don't
crazy
think,
dude with PTSD.
I don't think Ymir. I think Ymir's just playing along. She's playing along and using Eren because Eren is pretty much useless at shit like this. Like she's like, okay, I can't depend on him. He's fucking stupid. So I have to, do this shit myself.
Maybe.
So she's pretending to be on their side. I think she's a very resourceful young lady. So I think she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then meanwhile, like on like the B side of things, everyone's pretty much just riding to the forest, essentially.
Yeah, everybody's just on their way, and I still want to get back to the point of him being a shit spy.
Oh wait, one more thing before that. Who's the commander? The something commander, or captain? The one with the glasses who's crazy. I want to say she was a girl, but now apparently she's a guy.
Oh yeah, so I don't know if it's revealed in the OVA or if like it's just a manga thing, but I was doing research and it was Hanji. Hanji is either male or just ambiguous. Like, I think it was like if you look at the interviews with the author and stuff, where he just goes off and is like, "Oh yeah, no, it's like we don't name him male or female, or that they name him male." I forget which one. And essentially, he's either male or he's sexually ambiguous, which leans to him being male. So, interesting tidbit of trivia.
Now that you
now
say
your
like
whole
that,
world is flipped upside down.
It's not even flipped upside down. It's just like now I just look at him and I'm just like, why do you sound like a boy? Like a 10-year-old boy. Like, the other man sounds like a man, but you sound like a boy. You sound like Armin.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with Armin?
He's a boy. My point exactly. Yeah. Let's get back to the spy thing. I mean, I don't get why you say that, because like he literally, like, after destroying their own wall, he infiltrates them for years upon years upon years and learns all this information, which I'm sure he's relayed back to the giant fucking one. And even when they were caught, they still managed to scoop up Eden and Ymir and straight up dipped.
Because, first off, him being successful in the initial, like, destroying the wall and shit, alright, that's easy. He's a giant titan. It's not hard to do that shit. Also, for him to integrate into the society is not hard at all because he's also human, and they don't have any idea that humans can turn into titans. So that's easy for him to just be like, hey, I'm a human. Let's kill those titans, guys. And then... So the whole infiltration aspect is super easy. What makes him a shitty spy is that he's so, like, incorporated and integrated into their little society that he has two personalities. That's not a good spy. If your spy is half the time working for you and the other half the time he forgets that he works for you, this is not a good spy. He's an insane psychopath that has, like, split personalities and PTSD.
I think he's a good spy because he literally committed so hard that he eventually believes himself.
That's horrible. Then maybe he was a good spy that was so good he became shitty.
That's actually my argument for it, because like when you become a spy, like you literally have to like you have to literally submerge yourself in like this fake life that you're living to pass it off as
like you're giving
believable.
too much credit.
And then he did that, and then it got.
I just think he's just suffering PTSD. I don't think he like actively was like, I'm gonna put myself in the mindset that I'm one of these guys and go from here. No, I think he's just insane and just having.
I think. Well, I feel like at this point, my theories holds more ground just because it's like it's almost like implicated everywhere. For you to be right, there would have to be more background on his infiltration and everything and so on.
All right, fine. We'll see. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we won't because it's only 12 episodes. So
yep. Fuck on. Next.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you for a favor because technically next is Danmachi because they swapped.
No. Oh, why?
Can you just go and do Danmachi?
Why?
Because I don't know shit about what happened in Danmachi. I don't expect that you do either, but...
So? You watched it. You both watched it together.
We both watched...
I didn't watch it.
We both watched Danmachi, but, like...
You just want me to talk about it.
Yeah, because you would do a better job at explaining Danmachi than I would.
You know what?
You have notes on it. I did not take notes on Danmachi because I was like, Drew's explaining this. I just have to know the major points of the show, of this episode.
I'll do it only because... excuse me. Only because, in my mind, nothing really happened to Eromanga Sensei. So, fine. Whatever.
Which we're going to argue about, but
excuse
okay.
Me. Okay, so the episode...
Oh, look, this way you get to do Renai Boken. Which, I don't know why these averages changed all of a sudden. Like, this is totally... First off, you assholes out there who are doing the voting and put Danmachi ahead of Eromanga Sensei.
Crazy. And Renai Boken.
You guys are insane.
Crazy. You guys must be addicted to mediocre anime. Like, if that's the case, then General Guardian should be somewhere mixed in between.
No. That's the only one they got right. It was like all the way at the bottom of the list.
Okay, so the episode 7 starts out with the Organization 13 character asking Ice to investigate the monster outbreak on level 24. Loki finds out about this and is forced to send people to chase after her. So she sends Lepia and Bet, whatever.
Werewolf dude.
Yeah, and then Dionysus sends his elf chick to send with them to join them to chase after Ice. Ice reunites with Lunune, the wolf girl, and joins with the Hermes Familia for this task. Then Dionysus has a rather erotic run-in with Hermes.
Yeah, super erotic run-in with Hermes in the back alley.
It kind, yeah. Like they're all like, Yes, let's talk about
I
this
know a
over
great
nice
place for
drink.
wine.
Yeah. I'm like, is that what they're calling it these days? So yeah, so essentially, Ice is trying to find out where this place is, where the monster's breaking out. It's happening in some place called the Pantry, where
That's a stupid name.
that
for
is
it.
such a stupid name. But like, I don't know, it's this anime, so I'm not surprised. And yeah, that's where the monsters eat, like literally the pantry.
Could just call it like we're gonna go into the kitchen, the monster kitchen.
So yeah, Hermes party eventually gets there. Ice being all like, I'm level 6, I must prove myself. So she literally takes out an entire swarm.
She takes out like an entire army of fucking literal army of monsters that's just there,
Yeah,
just trying to eat something. She fucking slaughters all of them.
Yeah, right. And then they run into like this giant slime monster thing, and then they like investigate. And they go inside of it, and then of course, it's a trap, and the monster like essentially swallows them. And inside, it's all of those plant snakes, and the actual giant slime monster itself, successfully divides Ice from the rest of them, from the rest of the party, and at the end of it, she encounters the mysterious lady who fucked her up the first time.
The only person to ever mess her up,
Yeah,
ever.
and that's pretty much the end of that episode.
You missed the whole side B plot with Bete and Lufia.
Oh, you mean the PTSD elf?
And the PTSD elf, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, this
The
elf.
Reiner of elves.
Because I literally can talk about it in like 2 sentences. This elf has some kind of trauma, and whenever someone tries to touch her or go near her, she flips the fuck out. Flips the fuck out. Yeah.
And everyone who's ever been in her party has died.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, sorry, 3 sentences. All right, moving on. I literally do not care about this episode.
Wow. All right, I just want to point this out because we're going to talk about this episode, and we're going to talk about your manga sensei. But all right, so this episode was not a good episode to me, but I want to say for the record, A, it's better than Kindergarten. B,
Whatever.
this literally is just the epitome of the only reason the show... First, I'm glad it's going off on its own little thing now, and it's not chasing after the first season anymore, but Ice is just like the bane of this show.
Yeah, which is ironic because she's also the main character of it.
Yeah, if it was not, like, any other scene that does not have Ice in it is actually decent. Like, even the Lufia scenes now, like, Lufia and Bete is kind of nice. Loki's amazing. I love Loki's scenes. I love everyone except anything to do with Ice, because she's, like, the most bland, vanilla, boring character and brings down every scene she's in and everyone with her. That's all I want to say.
Yikes.
Which is why she was good in the first season, because she got like small doses and it was like, oh, there's Ice. Cool. Nice
nice
ice baby.
ice baby. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, but I'm not gonna be as mean as Horny was, but yeah, she's pretty. She is very vanilla, very bland. No, and then we saw a little bit of hope when she was being cute. Like, I'm not sure if it was last episode or episode
when
6.
she does the deadpan cute humor thing where she's just like,
who does that? Who does that super well? Who does she remind me of? Which is why I liked it. Kana from Maid-Dragon.
Yeah, when she does like the Kana style humor where it's just like the clueless, dorky, not dorky, but clueless, deadpan humor is really nice. But she doesn't do it enough, and it's like, no. I will say that as I was watching this, I was like, you know what? Danmachi is Gendo Guardian. It's like if Gendo Guardian was starring Rikude, this would be Danmachi Sword of Rotoria, because it starred like a bland character no one cares about, and everyone else would be far more interesting, and you wouldn't see any of Suigen because he's in the original series. This is literally just if Gendo Guardian had a spinoff starring Rikude. That's it.
Yeah, which is why
There'd be another party that's far more interesting in there.
Which is why, for the most part, I like Gendo Guardian. Even though Gendo Guardian is in no way at all, I'm just saying personally, I like it more. Even though it has no plot direction whatsoever, at least stuff happens. And it's not like...
Stuff happens in Danmachi. It's just...
But it's literally the
low
same
energy stuff.
It's like the same 5 seconds.
There's
Whoa,
no
there's
hype.
a monster! Sword attack! We're like... Recycled scenes of us fucking shit up. Wow, we're done.
It's very low budgety by the numbers. There's like no hype.
Exactly.
Like even this fight between Ice and other chick, I'm like, oh wow.
Exactly. And of all things shit you talk about Gendo Guardian, you cannot say Gendo Guardian has had like shittier fight scenes. Nope.
It has had shittier fight scenes. Let's not go crazy.
Yeah, like shittier fight scenes of like the human ones, like between humans. Like in the game, no.
Well, in the game it's shitty because I don't know what the fuck is going on. Everybody's just doing random shit.
It's like good fighting scenes.
Like a mecha just ran. Oh, my pyramid turns into a giant mecha. That's
okay. It's a good fight scene. Just because you don't know what's going on doesn't mean it's not a good fight scene.
It's a good fight scene in that like there's lots of explosions and stuff happening on screen. That's about it.
Yes,
there's no coherency.
Listen. If anyone has appreciated, what's that
it's the
anime?
Michael Bay of anime.
What's that? What's that anime? If anyone likes Gurren Lagann, it's the
Whoa.
Gurren Lagann season 2.
Whoa.
Gurren Lagann season 2. Then it's literally like Gendo Guardian. I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying they're both equally great. I'm just saying they're both similar in fact they both have fight scenes that make no fucking sense, and you're just like, what the fuck's going on? But you just go along with it because it's like whatever. It's a fight scene.
Yo, whoever does the PR for Gendo Guardian, which I assume is no one because no one's ever heard of Gendo Guardian, you guys need to hire Drew because he is sucking you off so hard. Like he's the only one on the planet who's like, yo, you guys need to. I'm about to check your payroll and make sure you aren't on the Gendo Guardian payroll right now and abusing this channel. Promote your Gendo Guardian shit over here.
But I'm just saying, like, at the end, like, okay, Gendo Guardian doesn't make sense because, like, mechs and then they're, like, cards and then shooting and laser beams everywhere. But then, in my mind, I compare it to, I just said the anime.
Gurren Lagann?
Yeah, Gurren Lagann season 2, where like at the end of it, they're throwing galaxies at each other. What the fuck? Like that also doesn't make any sense.
But Gurren Lagann was hype. It had like hype music and hype circumstances, and like everybody was screaming and blah and fucking. It was dope.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not Gurren Lagann. It's not as hype, but action scenes are still good.
Fine.
Better than Danmachi's.
Danmachi. This episode's not that great. You need to focus on not Ice. Anybody but Ice, and we'll be good.
Yes.
Focus on the twins.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on, we have Eromanga Sensei, episode 8. So there's another point of contention, but I like this episode. Essentially, it starts off with Sagiri in a yukata coming out of the room to talk with, I keep saying Suigen now because I'm like, Izumi Masamune. So,
you always do that.
I know, I confuse everybody. But anyway, Masamune. And he basically shoots himself in the foot because he compliments her on how cute she looks. And then without any cause for him to say anything, he's like, oh yeah, you're really cute. Just like Muramasa would look in a yukata. So she gets kind of pissy about it, and then instead of going crazy, she's like, well, is she your favorite, like, girl? And then he's just like, nope, you are. And then she super cutely flips out. And then we get the rest of the episode, which is Muramasa just kind of going to work and trying to finish writing his novel. He ends up actually meeting with Elf, who lets him know that they decided to publish the top 3 light novel authors in the contest that he won, so it kind of really didn't matter if he came in first place or not, but he gets his published first, so it kind of helps him. and they're gonna throw a party at his house for the light novel winners. So, a wrap-up party. He has to call Muramasa to invite her, but he's still kind of awkward about it because he dumped her. So he calls her, and she kind of makes a good scene about how she still loves him and her feelings haven't changed and she wants to go over. So she comes over to the party, and the wrap-up party has a new character who is Shishido? Something? Shishido. The male character, so I didn't pay attention to his name. And he just shows up first and is totally freaked out by the situation that he gets himself into because he shows up first, and then Muramasa Muramasa. I was right the first time. Fucking names. Muramasa and Yamada Elf show up and fight over Masamune, which puts him in an awkward spot. And then Sagiri is just like stomping on the floor, and Shishido is just like, what the fuck is going on? Where am I? And it just kind of continues in that vein for the whole party, and they go over what their dreams are and kind of good character building moments. And it ends off with Sagiri and Masamune watching the fireworks show and him giving his little heartfelt explanation of how he's afraid to be alone and lose someone since he lost his mother and he just wants a family. So Sagiri decides she can be a little sister to him just this once. And that's where we leave off at. And I thought it was a very heartfelt, moving, nice episode.
And I agree. It was very nice. And ironically, that's why it's going to lose some points for me this episode. Because unlike the next anime I'm going to talk about, it sacrificed its comedy aspect just for, like, this episode wasn't funny. Like, it just wasn't funny.
Okay, I'll say this. It wasn't as funny as previous episodes.
The next anime I'm going to talk about...
It's two different types.
It still kept its comedy and still had its moments.
I will say that not Gin no
Yikes.
Manga Sensei is not the same type of comedy as Renai Boken, so I think it did keep its comedy. It's just that the comedy it kept was like the character-driven, cutesy, character-driven slice of life stuff. Like there were certain scenes like Muramasa looking at the dating books on how to go to festivals alone and shit. Elf being all flustered about being a big sister.
Literally almost every other episode is very low. It's extremely
It was lower because it had to focus on the actual meat of the story, which is their relationship. The whole, what's his name, Shishido spitting out his coffee because they didn't know who he was. And it was just like, it had those cute slice of life moments. It had enough comedy to keep you invested, and it wasn't overly serious, and it wasn't like, oh, this is a really dry, dramatic episode. It felt like a regular episode that happened to have more of a focus on the plot.
See, unfortunately, because I guess I'm kind of critical of anime, I tend to
and I'm not, but...
I mean, you're clearly biased, because of all things in anime, when it comes to, like, if you set precedents, I expect consistency.
This is a consistent precedent.
It's not like I'm just saying it just wasn't. It just
could have been funnier. It wasn't as funny as like some like the Megumin episode where she was like blindfolded and stuff like that, because those episodes were specifically meant to be like slice of life comedy episodes, and they had a heavier focus on comedy. And this was like a hybrid between, we want some drama, so we had a lot of little drama sections, but in between the drama sections we had good comedy sections. And I think that
they weren't good.
They were good. They were just as good as the other ones.
They were very tiny, in my opinion.
They were tiny, but they were good. The only reason you're noticing them more is, I think, because the way it was done is different from how Renai Boken does it this week, where it's like, Renai Boken did it where it was like, in the beginning, it was comedy, and then the middle was serious, and the end it was comedy. This did it, Manga Sensei did, where it was like, comedy serious, comedy serious, comedy serious, and then left off on a serious note. So it's like, tinier bits of comedy, and they're sandwiched in between the bits of drama. So it leaves like more of a dramatic taste in your mouth, whereas Renai Boken left more of a happy, funny taste in your mouth. But the comedy in this episode was there. It was just in smaller bits, which I think was good because it didn't overplay the comedy and it kept it on a serious note.
You see that word that says, like, under the caption?
All right.
Like,
Comedy. It's a comedy romance. This episode was a comedy romance.
It just wasn't funny. Like, it just wasn't as funny as
it wasn't it's not a slapstick comedy. It isn't. Well, except for that one scene. But it wasn't a slapstick comedy.
Yeah, like, comedy.
It's not, though. It's like
when they use slapstick.
Renai Boken is a slapstick comedy. This is more of a, just like a whatchamacallit. It's a slice of life, but I want to say it's more like your Azumanga Daioh type comedy.
I think I'm even twice as, well, not twice as critical, but even more critical because Soroni, like, he insists that I watch this episode.
All right, the first time he watched
it.
Yeah, because you have to watch. No.
Okay. No. Okay, I admit, breaking the fourth wall, like, as if we ever had one to begin with. I fell asleep, like, at certain parts of the other ones because I literally was, like, operating on, like, 3 hours of sleep. I was exhausted. Very tired. So I ended up, because nothing was really going on in this episode, so I kind of just, like, passed out. Like, because it was just, like, it was just, like, whatever. It was, like, a bunch of drama just to say, hey, I'm throwing a party, everyone come. In my opinion. So yeah, I just fell asleep at certain parts. I fell asleep, like I didn't miss like a whole shit ton of it. I thought I missed a lot more than I did, to be honest.
Well, you didn't miss, like, again. Like, if you saw the beginning, you saw the end. You got the gist.
Yeah, I got the gist of it. I saw the party, and that's why I'm judging. Because now that I woke up and I saw all of it, I'm just like, it makes me feel like I didn't miss anything, but
oh my god!
Like, I got as much as I got from when I fell asleep last night till when I watched it again, because it's like there was nothing in the filler that didn't, like, it just didn't satisfy me. Like, I had my expectations up, and I was like, oh, so I basically exactly what I saw last night, exactly what's happening here, just like an extra joke in here or two. That's like, you know, it's not even like the jokes are just like, oh, this joke was like so good. That's like, wow, I'm really glad I watched this episode. Like, I could have gone through my life and been perfectly fine not watching it again.
The thing is,
that's the reason why I'm being so critical of it, because at the end of the day, the substance that was in this episode, if I watch parts of it and then I watch the full thing again and I still had the same feeling, even though I slept through half of it, this episode could have done better, in my opinion.
I think you're first being grumpy, and secondly,
I'm not grumpy. I'm being awake. I'm wide awake.
You're woke right now.
I'm wide awake. I'm not being grumpy. Like, this is honestly how I feel about it.
Listen.
You're
You're underestimating what the episode accomplished. I think the episode did a lot to build the characters. For example, it did little things. But the little things did a lot to build up the characters and were significantly funny. Like, again, Muramasa's little date scene where her looking at all the fucking books about how to date, be single, and go to festivals and shit, I thought did a lot for her character because it shows how kind of insecure she is.
I mean, to be fair, I saw that last night, though. Yeah. I remember that from last night.
Then I liked Elf's scene where she's kind of consoling Masamune because I think that made her feel like a big sister type character. And I think she doesn't really care much about, you know, dating Masamune as much as she does just like supporting him and being like a bro and a cool, good friend and like a supportive person for him, which is awesome for a character. Previous to this, I was like, she's definitely in the race for his heart. But now it's kind of like, no, she just wants to be, you know, a supportive older sister type character to him, which is pretty cool. I don't give a shit about Shishido, but his interactions were pretty funny, and it's kind of like imagine if you were in his shoes and just walked into this fucking scenario, and there's like this crazy chick upstairs just stomping on the fucking floor, and this guy has like two girls hanging on both arms right now, and it's just weird. So I thought that was a cute, like, self-insert scene where it's like, here's a normal person putting himself in the scenario of this anime, and it's just like, I think it did a lot of things right. Plus the whole aspect of him losing his mother and being afraid of being alone, I thought was done well because it was foreshadowed earlier in the episode where he called her for no reason. And it was just, I think there was a lot of building blocks that were small but added up to a good experience overall in this episode.
I mean,
it was a very character-driven episode.
You're right, but one, everything that you just mentioned is not like exemplary forms of like anime plot. Like I've seen all those patterns literally repeat. Like I can literally look up and give you examples for days and days and days and days and days. So like that in itself is not.
I think this was really good character building that's outside of the normal context
I feel like
of anime.
To me, it just feels it was a very cookie cutter episode. Like
really? I really feel like they did a lot of good things with the character.
Like it just felt very, of all the episodes this week, it really just failed to stand out. And I don't think just because it didn't lack, even because it lacked in humor, I don't think that's like a good reason for you to like not stand out.
I'm thinking it's one of those episodes where at first it doesn't look like there's much there, but you look deeper at it, it did a lot to build up the characters. Like, it did a lot of show not tell, which is something that anime doesn't do that much of, and why I like Tsukasa's work with Orihimo in this, where it's like, he didn't tell you that Masamune or Muramasa's insecure about her relationship life, or that Elf is trying to be a supportive older sister type character and all that shit. But it's like evident in their actions, in the small little 5 seconds of action that they had in their respective scenes.
I mean, but also they kind of imply it through dialogue, though. Which is good. I mean,
but it's not like in your face dialogue. It's like a line of dialogue that's just like, oh, she was looking at magazines. Or like when Masamune was like, oh, you're like an older sister to me. And then she kind of got flustered by it because she wasn't even aware of that. But I don't know. It just doesn't.
I don't know. I feel like those scenes like can be easily like reproduced. Like to you, you're saying all those things, and I'm like, that's cool and stuff. But it's like it's not to me. It's nothing special.
To me, a good scene is a scene where it's like you think it's something that can be easily reproduced, but it's like the more closely you look at it, you see the little moving parts. I don't think like if Gin no Guardian did those scenes, I think it would fall flat on its face and look stupid. I think it held together well here because every character was in character, and we got to learn a little bit more about them through just a smidgen of extra dialogue or a smidgen of a little action that they do here and there.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess this was our point of contention this week.
Yeah. You can only agree to disagree. I'm just saying, I don't know. It's just weird because it's like it's just like disappointing because like I always set the bar. For some reason, I always like don't look forward to to watching Eromanga Sensei. Like to me, I always would like view it as a chore, and then as I watch it, it turns into like, oh, I'm actually enjoying this. Wow, I'm actually having a good time. This time it was just like, nope, this was a chore.
I'd say it goes, I think it depends more on what you want from the show and what you want from the episode. Like, the episode's not as funny. It's not as, like you said, where it's not as a pleasant surprise as the other episodes were. This is more definitely a serious, less going on episode. But if you're in it for the individual characters and stuff, I just wish they
did like something like special with it. Even if it was funny, just do something. I just wish they would have done something maybe a little more like unique, something to grab my attention.
Yeah. The only problem I had with the episode was the pacing again. I think it's going way too fast. But I don't know. We spent way too much time on this topic.
Yeah. Alright, moving on to what is undoubtedly my episode of the week. Renai Bokun, episode 8. This episode is so, like, spot on. So, the episode starts with them, and by them, I mean Goody and Yuzu. They storm Akane's place. And they're just like samurais and ninjas, and it's totally like ridiculous. They're using like BL bombs on everyone.
Literal gay bombs.
Literal gay bombs. And yeah, I just decided to call it BL bombs because, alliteration.
Oh, that's true.
I should patent that. So yeah, and then they find Akane, but Akane seems to be brainwashed. And she's all like, I don't believe in love, leave me. Eventually Seiji, Aqua, and the cat guy, Corley, I forget his name.
I just call him by his cat name, Blue.
Excuse me, or Blue. joins them eventually. Of course, Shikimi betrays them, no duh. And literally just starts to torture Seiji right in front of Akane to, like, get a response out of her. Or just to see if she's, like, truly reverted back to, like, her...
Yeah, I think that was the point. She wanted to see if she could watch it without...
Yeah, without getting going crazy. And then Akane's mom is like, hey, Akane, kill Seiji to prove herself, even though it won't kill him. But ultimately, she can't do it because she's like, I love him, Mom. And then Akane's mom is not happy about that. I think they were about to fight. And then Yuzu's mom comes in to, like, cause Yuzu's mom comes in to take Yuzu home.
Yuzu's mom is the best.
Yeah, kind of. And she notices that Yuzu's been hurt, so she totally flips the fuck out. And then Yuzu's mom and Akane's mom begin to start fighting each other. And then Akane's like, stop fighting, guys, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just love her, blah. I love her. I love him, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually they go into, like, their past. When this is, like, some really fucked up shit. Like, so apparently Yuzu and Akane, I thought, which one called it? Yuzu's mom and Akane's mom were sisters.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And nope, plot twist, bitches. They just happen to have the same dad. So some guy fucked both of them, got them both pregnant.
And the way they made it sound, it was like they were in a polygamous relationship, and he just dumped both of them. I mean, that's how I read into it.
I don't think so. Like, that's
because they both knew each other. Like Akane's mom and Yuzu's mom both were like they knew each other personally very well, and they were like able to talk about, like, oh yeah, back in the day when we were together and stuff like that. So it doesn't sound like these were just like two women who were...
I think they knew each other just because, like, the dad maybe at the time was in both, like, not in both of their lives, as in, like, I'm dating one and I'm dating the other, but it's like, oh, I have a kid with this one, I have a kid with that one. So
they sounded a bit too close to me to, like, they knew each other back in the old days. Because Yuzu's mom was even like, oh yeah, Akane was like that. Your daughter was like you when you were younger and we were dating. So I guess they either know each other from beforehand, or I would assume that they were together with...
I wouldn't even contest that. Like, I'm not even going to try to argue that, because it's like, this is Renai Bokun, and, like, in the main harem, they're all dating each other. So, yeah. so it could be a plot for polyamory.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially they have the same dad, so apparently Mystery Guy X was either dating both of them or dating one and then the other, and then he just, like, left altogether. And then apparently Akine's mom was, like, really, like, she was so hurt from it that she was trying to prevent the same for her daughter. So she was really just projecting her own need to, like, never want to be hurt.
Yeah,
and then she's like, okay, so I'm gonna be a cold heartless bitch, and I'm gonna make my own daughter a cold heartless bitch so I can protect her. Which is, very sweet. It's very, in a very fucked up way. So yeah, essentially, after hearing that, Akane is pleased to be with Seiji. After the whole fight with her and Yuzu's mom, she finally gives them permission. Now, let's say gives her the blessing. I'm like, definitely not blessing. No. Definitely the wrong word. But yeah, gives them permission to date. Let's see. And I love how, like, at the end, Seiji was like, oh, I know I'm not much, and then maybe I could date your daughter. Like, I'll never hurt her. And then she literally says, like, you are irrelevant.
Yeah, it's just
she's like, I don't even care who you are. Also, Goody pointing out, like, as I said before, like, pointing out, like, oh, like, you're not as closed off as you think. Like, you actually have a lot of love in you for your daughter.
And then getting stabbed.
Yeah, because Akane is also very, like, don't talk about me like that. With this love shit. Fuck. And then, lastly, what happens... Because I don't really remember what happens, like, towards the end, because there's a lot of shit going on, a lot of joking, but this one last thing I want to point out is the very, like, sweet Akane Yuzu moment, where, like, Akane, she recognizes Yuzu, like, went in to, like, save her, and then she, like, almost kind of hurt her. She's like, I'm sorry, and thank you so much for rescuing me. It was a very sweet, touching scene.
Yeah, she, like, kisses her on the forehead, and she literally melts into the floor. But my favorite part of that scene was Yuzu's mom's reaction to Yuzu being infatuated with Akane. It was like Akane kisses Yuzu, and then Yuzu like literally starts flipping out, and then Yuzu's mom's like, "Huh, that's weird. Why is she so happy to get a kiss from Akane?" And then Akane's mom's like, "Well, you don't know? Don't you know that your daughter is in love with my daughter?" Mm-hmm. And then Yuzu's mom goes from being like super cool and collected to being like what? Huh? What the fuck is going on? Like, my daughter's in a polyamorous relationship and is a lesbian. She had no idea about any of this. She didn't know her daughter was also dating Seiichi and was in love with Akane. So that was a cute scene at the end. But,
yeah, just like all in all, this episode was just so...
Yeah, it was really good.
Literally from beginning to end, it was so solid. Like, this episode, which is why it's my episode of the week, like, it was one of those episodes where it's like, you didn't even realize, like, I didn't even realize it ended when it ended. Because it was so good. Like, I was actually, like, sad when it was over. Because I was like... To me, it just felt like all of that shit just happened in like 5 minutes because I didn't even notice I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah. And it does a really good job of mixing the comedy and the plot and drama because it's like so seamless too. Like
exactly, like it literally like the transition is so effortless.
Yeah, it's like 1 second you'll be like, oh my god, it's like I thought Akane was really. First off, I thought Akane was brainwashed. Then when I found out she wasn't brainwashed, I'm like, oh, is she really gonna like try to kill Seiji and then somebody's gonna stop her and it's gonna be like this whole arc and stuff. Well, then next second, Guri's just like fucking around with Akane and shit. It's like, I don't know. It's just, first off, Guri is amazing. She's like the best part about the show for me because she just she facilitates all this transition between serious and comedy so well.
Yeah, like Goody is a very like solid. Is it weird? Like it's sometimes I feel like she's almost like the main you know how like in an episode like. In a series where like the main character is like constantly like being overshadowed by like everyone else. I feel like that's like kind of what happens with Goody, except ultimately she like does shine, even though she's not even the main character. Like, she just seems like she's like the main character. Everyone's trying to overshine, and then she does like it doesn't happen. Like she just has her moments, and they're like she doesn't have a lot of them, but the ones that she have are like solid.
Yeah, and I just feel like. She's like this, I don't know if I should use this term because it kind of sounds like it diminishes her, but she's like a plot device that's also really, really
I know
good.
What you mean.
Because she's a plot device that like, hey, the show needs comedy real quick, and then she'll just come in and do something crazy, and it's like, so I get her function in the show, but it's also, it's pulled off so well that I don't even, from now on, anytime there's a character or device that's like, the sole purpose of this thing is for comedy in the middle of a, like, depressing time or something, I'm going to call it a Guri plot device. And that's just what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and that's not. I don't even take offense to that because I know exactly what you mean.
Because I still remember that one scene a few episodes ago where literally she just while Shikimi was torturing.
Yes, that's the same thing. She just
pops in with like a crab suit. Like, oh, this is getting too dark. Quick, bring in Guri in a crab suit. Like, yeah, no, she's amazing. The comedy and drama in the show is good. The plot twists this episode were really good. Like, I was not expecting the oh yeah, we're not sisters. She's actually just my ex-husband or ex-boyfriend's other lover. So, and I like how they didn't paint Akane's mom as like a total cold-hearted, mean bitch that's like, no love for anyone. She's just kind of looking out for her daughter in her own way.
Yeah, so overall, super solid episode.
Yeah, like best episode of the series so far, I think.
Agreed, definitely.
So glad we watched the show.
Me too. Yeah, so unfortunately, I guess we have to move on.
Unfortunately, we have to move on to GNG.
That's a good abbreviation.
Yeah. Gin no Guardian. The one thing I did like about this episode, before I go into the plot, is it introduced something that makes it good, which is a totally different cast of characters.
It's not a totally different cast.
It's not a totally different cast, but they focused a lot on the other cast of characters. But before we get there, Seiji wakes up from being shot last episode, and this time he's in the real world, but he still has that bullet wound, and it just slowly heals up. Then he receives a mysterious phone call from, Temujin of... Let me get this right, because there's multiple factions now. There's Temujin of... What, did you write down the name of the faction he's from?
I thought they were all from the same faction.
No, because it's Temujin of some faction that I forgot the name of the place was, that he's holding Rikude as hostage. And then there's Dark Tiger of Precious.
Yeah.
Dark Tiger is the leader of Precious, which is the organization behind Gravebuster, and Temujin of whatever is the guy who's against Gravebuster, and he kidnapped Rikude and is hiding her in his little winter fortress of solitude place. So anyway, he sends this text to Suigen. Suigen's like, oh my god, they got
Rikude?
Yeah, ice. They got ice. So he goes to see his friend at school that we haven't seen for a few episodes, and he's with this other girl who happens to know a lot about, I guess, the inner workings of the different companies around Gravebusters, and she explains to him who Dark Precious is and who Temujin is. Temujin also just shows up in Akane's prison cell and just starts, like, grabbing her, which, by the way, his hands are, like, bigger than her entire head, because whatever reason. So he's just harassing her. But the main point of this episode that made it, well, in my opinion, a pretty good episode, actually, was it focused on the Team Rocket of the show, I guess you could call them. It's the older woman, the busty blonde chick, the blonde sniper dude, the little Chinese loli, and this new guy who looks like straight out of Sayuki, even though Drew will not admit it. He does look like he's straight out of Sayuki. And
that's because he's a pretty boy with big hair.
He's a pretty boy with big hair and like gold chains with dollar signs on them and stuff.
When does anyone have bling on them? What the hell is that? How's that even...
I'm pretty sure he was inspired by Sayuki. Anyway, this is a Chinese... Remember, it's based off Chinese.
Okay, so that's racism aside. Extreme racism
I
aside,
love the Chinese.
Because Sayuki was definitely like a Japanese anime. Like,
but it was based on a Chinese novel. Anyway. The Team Rocket, I'm just gonna call them Team Rocket, is going around trying to convince these people to basically come to this, oh, quick, come save us, come to this isolated cave where you can help kill this monster who's been attacking us. And they get this party of people to come into the cave. And then, of course, they get captured by the Team Rocket and assaulted, and ends off with Sweet Sayuki dude just doing this flashy, what's his name? It's like Wild Wolf. Wild Wolf coming and doing this flashy outro like, my name is Wild Wolf, I am the Fang of blah 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 blah, and it just ends there. But their whole like dynamic is so much more interesting than anything else in the show.
I agree.
Like busty blonde chick who is like semi in charge of the group because she's like, I guess, the most authoritative and is like super manipulative is super cute. Chinese Loli, who is like tsundere type character, is super cute. I like the blonde dude because he's chill, and I like this Sayuki looking wild wolf guy who's just like off the wall crazy. So I wish this show was about them, because everyone else in the show is garbage.
Excuse me.
I don't give a shit about Suigen. I don't give a shit about Rikude. I just want to know more about this team of bandits.
Okay, well, now that you're done trying to shun the show as much as possible.
Oh yeah, here we go. The official
No,
spokesperson.
I'm not even gonna hype it up. I don't even have much to say about this episode. I think you pretty much said it all. Cause I kind of agree. The whole Team Rocket thing was very like, you know, it was very comical. It was well done, very funny. Yeah, that was it. Everything else is just like stuff shifting and moving for next episode.
I'm glad I did a little bit of explaining about Dark Precious and Dark Tiger and Precious and Temujin and whatever the fuck.
It's like the whole structure of the anime is actually like coming together now.
I'm afraid to say that because every time we say that, the next episode is just like, oh, you thought it was making sense, not anymore. Now we have fucking Blue Whale of fucking, I don't know, Perfume Society or something.
Society.
Anyway. But I guess this is a better episode of the show, if only for that bandit Team Rocket-esque gimmick.
Moving on, and last but not least, we have Alice Zoro.
Again, guys, this order of the shows we're doing is by average score, which means that there are people, and a significant amount of people, who voted Ginno Guardian ahead of Alice Tozoroku. There are people who are like, the prevailing opinion is, you know what, Alice Tozoroku is nowhere near as good as Ginno Guardian or Don Machi, sort of Artoria, or Eromanga Sensei, or any of that. It's actually bottom of the barrel. That's the society we live in.
Hey, I don't make the rules.
Continue.
I just give the synopsis. This episode starts out. It's a fun, cute scene. Where Sana learns how to use the train system, public transportation, if you will. Ichijo, takes Sana for observation. Basically to like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Study? Monitor?
No, like, when you're trying to gauge someone's, like, level. Like, it's such a simple word, and I'm gonna, like, think of it halfway, and I'm just gonna shout it out. Evaluate. There you go. She, like, evaluates, like, her, basically, like, her abilities in terms of, like math.
She evaluates her power level with her scouter. Say it. Just say it.
And then she's like, whoa, her math is over 9,000. But no, she's like actually really smart when it comes to math.
She's not really smart when it comes to math. She's able to divide, 500 by 2 or something?
She's done with high school math already. Like, which is more than just simple division. But yeah, so she goes, I think she goes to a car factory with Ichijo for whatever reason, I guess to learn about cars or some shit. Anyways, like it was just like it was just stated like, oh, you want to go to a car factory, and she's like, sure.
I thought I misread that at first. I'm like, no,
that's actually what happens.
Definitely said Carl's Jr., not Car Factory.
Hey, you want to go to Carl's Jr. and eat Snickers there?
Yeah.
So they eventually meet up with Zoroku. A funny thing, her gate ends up activating by itself. It's like, oh, error, like something happens. I don't remember the specifics of it, but like that's more or less what happens.
Yeah, it just turns on by itself, and
then she's like, huh? Anyways, they're walking around, and she eventually, well, actually, it switches focus on twins, the twin sisters, and then they're going out and they're enjoying food and eating because that's literally what these people do. Like half the time, they just eat. But then they run into Sana, and she's like, what? And then they're like, bye. And then they just run.
Peace.
They just straight up dip. And then Sana chases after them. This whole, like, cool chase scene occurs. And then, in the middle of chasing after them, the error thing pops up. Her gate activates without her knowing. And then, like, some giant, like...
meteor storm.
Yeah, some giant meteor storm, like, is about to just crush everyone. But then Ichijo goes maid outfit mode, and someone's, like, a demon to, like, eat the meteor. And stops the chase. And, you know, everyone gets kind of chastised. Which leads to this super awkward dinner scene. Where like, there's so much tension between the twins and Sana. The twins finally apologize for, like, what they did, and they're like, you know, we're sorry for causing that whole scene, yada, yada. Then it kind of goes back to their past, which, of course, we should have known was going to be super sad and depressing, because, you know, this show was way too happy for way too long.
For one episode. It was way too much happiness.
So, fun fact, they were abused by their dad their entire life, and to the point where they felt they had no choice, and they actually killed him in self-defense.
Yeah.
And then I guess from there on, after the police came and whatever, instead of like throwing them in like jail, the facility took them, and that's how they met Sana. So after that really sad story, you know, they kind of awkwardly but surely definitely make up with Sana, and you know, it's a very nice scene. But towards the end, because I don't know, and I think this episode did it very well, hinting that something is off with Sana, and they emphasize it even more so with the run-in with the twins.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in such a way that's it's not something that's just affecting her powers, it's affecting her as a person, which I thought they did that extremely well this episode.
Yeah.
This potentially could have been my episode of the week just because of that, because it was so under the radar. That's it's when it brings up the scene where she talks about it, you it triggers something in your brain where you just think about it through all the points in the episode. I'm huh, shit. Now that I think about it, yeah, all this stuff's happening, and I'm I think that's what they wanted to do, essentially, and they did it so well. They put all these subconscious scenes in your head, they just plant them there, so then when they finally address it as oh, something's wrong with me, it's oh, I get it, it's not coming out of nowhere. But it wasn't whoa, something's mad, I'm cutting myself and I'm doing drugs and drinking alcohol.
God, not yet, at least.
Yeah, right. It just started out with her having an error with her gate, and then you could just attribute that to her powers are maybe going out of control for some reason.
Yeah, I thought maybe because she wasn't using them enough, because she stopped using her powers as much. Maybe
yeah, exactly.
They need to be released or something.
So you wouldn't directly, their first conclusion, at least in my opinion, at least mine wouldn't be oh, there's something wrong with her, or she's sad or feeling some type of way about something. But then when she kept talking about with the twins, she's I keep feeling frazzled. She kept saying that. And then I thought that was just over her with the twins, but it wasn't even that. It was something even bigger than that. She was just it was that plus the error, the gate errors happening. She's she's literally just struggling to change her environment. It's just a lot to take in being human, and it's it's starting to mess with her. Well, not mess with her. It's it's just the adjustment is rather hard on her, and it's starting to manifest itself, even with her powers.
I feel like she's gonna die. I hate this show now. Thanks. I feel like now she's just like, next episode she just drops dead. Or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. I'm just saying that they did was like so well done. And then, of course, Sanae, being immaculate angel that she is, just comforts her.
Somebody needs her own show, or at least more screen time.
Agreed. And that's pretty much like just the episode, and I thought it was so good.
Yeah,
It was
that was
actually
a good
just
episode.
it was just good. Like, I didn't really know what they were going towards, like towards the end, but then once it happened at the end, I was like, oh shit! Like, this whole episode was worth it.
Yeah, the twins are really nice. I'm glad they kind of wrapped up their arc, but they kind of left room for maybe they'll be back or something.
Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot that they're like in America and stuff. No,
I think they're still
no,
they're in
still-
Japan. They're just at an American school in Japan, which is weird, but okay.
Yeah. That part was like confusing.
Yeah, so they have their little, and Sana was messaging them and stuff, so they're still in contact. And I kind of, as much a big stick I made about it last week, kind of growing, Sana's hair is kind of growing on me. Still nowhere near as good as her long hair, but I like the little hair clips that she had in it. Make her look slightly more feminine.
Sana, even though I hate your haircut, you can look however you want.
I want my own Sana. Super cute.
You want your what?
My own Sana.
What is that? What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
I don't know, like a Sana, I want my own Sana.
Question, are you?
Face,
Do you want? Do you,
contorting.
I'm like, do you want slaves? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want a cute girl that's like learning about the world and super open-eyed and curious and shit.
Oh my god, you'd fuck her up so bad.
No, please. First of all, I wouldn't cut her hair, so I'm automatically a better parent than Zoroku would be.
Yeah. No, you would just. Oh, I feel like you would just like. Oh god, you would just make it so she wouldn't have any friends.
Yeah, okay. I'm such a mean person.
No, that's not why. She just, especially at that age, like, I don't know. You're already an adult, so you don't need to be cool, but, like, she won't know anything about being a teenager, and then she's, like, she's gonna fall prey to all these people who are like, oh, let me tell you how to be a teenager by having unprotected sex and getting pregnant.
Now you're turning this into like what I'm gonna see at the next Comic-Con, which is a bunch of doujins about Sana and the twins.
Exactly. You're the living version of the doujins. That's gonna happen to her.
No, that's alright. Anyway, before this goes off into even weirder territory.
Oh, said the guy who wanted to fucking drug me with needles constantly.
Why is it about Alice the Zoroku that always makes us go off into these weird tangents about
You were the one who brought up
insane
doujins.
shit? You're the one who's like, oh, she's gonna be raped by like random teens.
I didn't say she's gonna get raped. See, you just brought up rape. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Alright, let's stop this now.
Okay, well, I think that's my cue to wrap things up today. If you guys enjoyed this, because God knows I have, by all means, like and or comment and or subscribe. Follow us on Twitter for more crazy shit that we have to say.
Yep.
And yeah, until then, I guess we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Damn, you stole my... Alright, whatever. Later.